Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Rob Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Yeah, man. Today is May 2nd, 2026. I'm going to be real brief in this video, but I want to give y'all the latest update on international news, which is what I'm known for. I remember back in the day, a lot of people used to ask me, why you always talk about international news? I mean, we live here in America, but I kept telling them, if you don't understand what's going on over across the water, you'll never understand what's going on in your neighborhood. So let me bring y'all up to date. Recently, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel and the real President of the United States, made a statement saying, it's been 40 years, but I finally found an American president that I can convince to go to war with Iran. I mean, every other president, there's no big thing and no real indictment on Trump, because every other president in the last 40 years, going back to Iraq, had did the bidding of Benjamin Netanyahu, getting us to fight his wars against his neighbors. Now, here we are now, under the behest of Benjamin Netanyahu, the real president of the United States. Due to the Epstein files, and again, I'm going to do a special video. It might not be live, but I'm going to do a special video about the Epstein files and why they are so important. Because this is the reason why Donald Trump bit off more than he could chew. He is so heavily implicated in those Epstein files that he has no choice to do but what Benjamin Netanyahu tells him to do, or risk going to prison. Now, after he made that statement, Benjamin Netanyahu said, it's been 40 years, but I finally found me a president in the United States, a fake president in the United States, because we control the United States government, to go to war with Iran. Now, let me tell you how that affects you. You're already starting to see preliminary effects in your gas prices. But most importantly, you're going to start seeing a rise in your grocery prices that's unbelievable over the next 6 months. Y'all want to know why? What's going on in Iran and the Straits of Hormuz affects you? Because 3/4 of your fertilizer that we need to grow crops here in America comes through that portion of the earth. You're going to start, over the next few weeks, you're going to start seeing prices rise. I'm going to give you a hypothetical scenario, an example. Just this time last year, before Donald Trump went and did his dumb shit a couple of months ago by starting the war with Iran, which resulted in the Straits of Hormuz being closed. But think about this. Donald Trump talking about open up the Straits of Hormuz, Iran. Guess what? 2 months ago, they were open until he pulled that bullshit that he did. Now they're closed, which now is going to affect the exports and from other countries in the Middle East of fertilizer and ingredients used to make fertilizer to the United States. So what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing food prices rise exponentially here in America over the next 4 or 5. Because guess what? It's growing season right now for fruits and vegetables. And our farmers, who probably, I'm a hypothetical example, who probably were paying this time last year $1,000 for just say 10,000 pounds of fertilizer, who are now paying $15,000 for the same, amount of fertilizer. The effects are already being felt in Africa and other so-called third world nations, because they're not able to get their hands on fertilizer. But here in America, those farmers who are able to get their hands on fertilizer are paying almost 500% more than what they were paying this time last year. Now again, going back to when Netanyahu recently, and y'all go look this up. You don't have to take my word for as fact. Netanyahu said, I spent 40 years trying to find a president that will help us get rid of Iran. Now, guess what has happened in the last 40 years? The reason why he said 40 years. Because each one of your presidents in the last 40 years has done the bidding of Israel, starting with Iraq, then Lebanon, then Libya, then Syria. Y'all go study the Project for a New American Century. You understand why all these countries have been invaded on behalf of Israel using the United States. So your shit like bread, fruits, vegetables, the price of those items here in America are going to rise so dramatically that it might cause riots in the streets. But during these last 40 years, all these countries that I mentioned previously, a few minutes ago, have been invaded by the United States on behalf of Israel. Literally. Think about it. They got rid of Gaddafi. When they got rid of Gaddafi, Libya was a shining jewel in Africa. Do y'all realize everybody in Libya had free health care, free education? If you was a student that wanted and living in Libya, or Lebanese student, a Liberian, whatever, a Libyan citizen, and you wanted to come to study in America, the government of Libya paid for it 100%. If you got married in Libya under Gaddafi, they gave you $5,000. Everybody in Libya under Gaddafi had homes. It was one of the most shining examples of what a government was supposed to do for their country. But the United States, under Barack Obama, and I don't understand why a lot of y'all love this nigga like y'all do, but y'all don't understand. Barack Obama is literally one of the biggest mass murderers in history, because our presidents over the last 40 years were under control of Israel, even to this day. They found themselves a useful idiot in Donald Trump. The thing about this, how long has Israel been telling us that Iran is only months away from getting a nuclear weapon? Damn near 40 years. 40 years ago. You go back and look at just Google Netanyahu saying that Iran was a threat to the United States. Ain't gonna take you back 40 years. 40 years ago, Iran was 2 weeks away from getting a nuclear weapon. Now, Donald Trump, because of the Epstein files, have been so heavily implicated in these files that he has no choice. He's been blackmailed and most of your Congress. Think about it. I hate to digress. You want to go in the house, boy? Hold on. You ready to go inside, big head? Come on. Ain't he? Look at him. He's so handsome. That's a big show there. You ready to go in the house or out in the backyard? You finna try to go back there. You want to go in the house inside. Uncle Big Man. Okay, I apologize for that. I lost my train of thought. But let me start back here. 40 years now, Israel has gotten our American presidents entangled in all these wars that really were wars against Israeli enemies who were fought on Israel's behalf by us. Again, Iraq. We spent 7-8 years in Iraq. Really destroying their country, taking over their oil. Think about it. In Afghanistan, we was in Afghanistan for almost 20-some years. And guess what? None of these wars that Israel had us fight on their behalf, we have won. We spent 20 years in Afghanistan and got our ass whooped so bad that when we left Afghanistan, Google this and research it. Do y'all realize we left almost $8 billion worth of weapons in Afghanistan overnight, making Afghanistan the largest military in that motherfucking region at your taxpayers' expense? So now, here we are, and under the project of a New American Century, we are at the final country that we need to take over so that Israel, those fuck ass people who call themselves Jews but are not, but are of the synagogue. Let me ask y'all a question in America. How is it that we here in America, we can be racist against anybody in America? Now, I don't want to offend nobody with this language, but I'm going to just keep it real. Why is it that we can say nigger, spick, wop, or dago, wetback, slant eye, ricey? We can call everybody in America anything we want. But as soon as you say something about the Jews, you're labeled anti-Semitic. That's being used to crack down on your freedom of speech. That's a whole nother different story. But we're going to get back off into the story because I'm going to get ready to end this video. Right now, we're fighting Iran. For 40 years, though, Iran has had the opportunity to sit back and watch the United States try to take over every other fucking country in the Middle East on behalf of Israel to give Israel unequal and total supremacy of that area, the Middle East. A bunch of people who don't even fucking supposed to be there. Call me anti-Semitic if you want. I'm just go fuck yourself because the truth is what it is. It's not anti-Semitic. Those people aren't even fucking Semitic. Think about it. Semitic people are people who are indigenous to that land throughout throughout history. Those people came from Europe. That's why the Bible says those who call themselves Jews but are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. That's what you got over in Israel, the synagogue of Satan. They're not even real Jews. Then you got to figure out and try to wonder why every country that those people have been into over the last 200 years have been ran out. I'm not a fan of Hitler, but Hitler tried to tell the world about these people. And then this is how bad it is with this anti-Semitic shit. During World War II, they want us to give a fuck about 6 million Jews. Okay, for the loss of life of any human being, I feel sympathy for. But 6 million Jews ain't shit compared to the 20 million fucking Russians who lost their lives in World War II defeating Hitler. 6 million Jews ain't shit compared to the almost 60-something million that the Chinese lost their lives fighting Hitler. For real. Why is it that we got to remember these 6 million Jews here in America every goddamn year? But we don't say nothing about the almost 100 million people that Russia and China lost along. And then if you add in the other countries who fought Hitler, do y'all realize almost 100-some million people, 150-some million people lost their lives in World War II, but we only supposed to give a fuck about those 6 million? This is how indoctrinated we are and how bought off our politicians are. Now again, any loss of life, especially in a war, is sad. But why the fuck should I give a fuck about 6 million Jews right now who, if I was over in their country, would spit on me and call me nigger? But soon as I say, you fucking fake ass Jews, oh, I'm anti-Semitic. This is how indoctrinated we are in America. So I'm going to get ready to end this video, but I want y'all to understand. Be prepared for your food prices to rise significantly because those who call themselves Jews but are not, that living in an occupied land that they took over from the real Semitics, how can I be anti-Semitic again? When Israel, those fake ass Jews over there are not Semitic. They can't speak no Semitic language, Arabic or Hebrew. They have a bastardized form language that is neither Arab or Hebrew. Semitic means that you speak one of those languages. They don't speak neither one of them. But they tell us we're anti-Semitic if we call them out on their bullshit. And these same people who say we're anti-Semitic because we call them out on their bullshit are the reasons why your president, Donald Trump, through the Epstein files, are fighting on their behalf to the point when your gas prices are already rising and your food prices are finna explode exponentially. Hey, this your boy Rob Thomas Jr. I got to end this video right now, but thank y'all for watching. Those who watch live, hey, like and share this video. We got to get the word out. We fighting for a bunch of people who are telling us in America we can say anything we want, but don't say nothing about these fake ass Jews or you're anti-Semitic. Fuck it. I mean, if that's what they label anti-Semitic, then I guess I'm anti-Semitic. But the real Semitics are the Palestinians, are the Arabs, are the Shiites, are the Sunnis. Everybody that speaks Arabic in that land over there in the Middle East, everybody that speaks real Hebrew, they are the real Semitics, not these fake ass people from Eastern Europe that went over there and took over these people's land and are still committing a genocide to this day. Y'all be blessed.